upon a time, at a Belgium university, there were two students named Azalea and Cassie. They shared a love for rap music, and every time they finished classes, they would spend recess and lunchtime listening to their favorite artists and have a really good time together. They were chilling when Cassie turned to Azalea and said,
Yo, that lesson was lit, am I right?
Azalea nodded in agreement.
Yeah, girl, it was the bomb.
The pair of teens unconsciously start to use slang present in their favorite songs, and it became a daily occurrence. Whether they were talking about assignments or weekend plans, rap-inspired phrases seamlessly slipped into their conversations. Suddenly, their teacher, Mr. Ramos, who was near and listening the conversation, got close to them and said,
Hi guys, what has influenced you to speak in that way?
as Leia and Cassie shared a look and chuckled at each other. It was then that they realized the extent of their linguistic transformation. The rhymes of their favorite rappers had embedded themselves into their everyday language. Mr. Ramos was intrigued by his students' vocabulary, and in a way he was eager to be part of it too. So he asked them,
Why did you guys start to talk in that way? I think it's neat.
Cassie smirked and answered,
We just copied the big dogs like Notorious Big, 50 Cent, Tupac. You know those guys.
I don't know, we just got some words from those guys' songs. It makes us feel part of the community. It has identity for shizzle.
Guys, did you know that language is in constant change? Language from thousands years ago is not the same as language nowadays.
Oh, but is it bad?
We as community don't have reasons to avoid language change. For that reason, dialects and slangs are not incorrect. Remember that language is a way to show identity.
Yeah, man, it represents the hood.
Although sometimes it can be overlooked because of the violence and sexist lines, even if it's not always about those topics, it's relevant for an entire community. So, yeah, it is the language for the hood, as you said, Cassie.
And what do you think about slangs, Mr. Ramos?
Slangs are okay.
Slangs are always so fun and easy to use. I think they have power. Besides, the OGs use them.
Yes, slangs are part of evolution. They challenge standard vocabulary and introduce new phrases and expressions to all generations. Obviously, it is important to be aware about registers within our speech. Context is always important in language. You must not talk with language that hood in a job interview.
Yeah, we don't fly, but we need to be aware of the context. I don't want to have beef with dogs that don't feel us. You got me?
You're right, Cassie.
Okay, guys, my mission here is solved. I'll see you soon.
as Mr. Ramos left the classroom, Azalea and Cassie were intrigued. The vocabulary was interesting, and the music was really good. But they didn't know anything about the context and the intricacies of the language in itself.
You know, girl, Mr. Ramos didn't like me with his wisdom, but I realize we know nothing about our favorite genre.
But where's the thrill in us? We must do our research or something. What do you think, Azalea?
I agree. I'm gonna look for more info and tomorrow we'll talk about it together.
See you tomorrow then, homie.
The next morning,
Hi girl, how are you?
I'm tired as hell. I didn't sleep to do the research. And you? Could you find anything interesting? I found a lot.
Me too. Turns out that rap has a lot of context that we didn't know about.
Yeah, that was surprising. Let me start. To begin with, hip hop is an urban culture which is divided into four branches: rap, DJ, breakdance, and graffiti. According to Lapasade and Roselot, hip hop is not just a musical genre, but a way to show identity of the place where it arose. Also, we have to be aware that hip hop is a part of a social struggle that emerged in the 70s in New York, where it was used as a tool that favors social change from a perspective that seeks to regulate equity among citizens of different social strata.
That's amazing! I found something about the relation between culture and rap. In fact, language plays an important role in the construction of social identity, and this is evidently shown within hip hop culture. Some ways in which identity is shown for hip hoppers are AAE slangs. Hip hop slang function as stylistic devices that individuals outside of traditional social groupings use to project different aspects of their ideology and identities. From fields such as, cultural studies, philosophy, and communities negotiate and define authenticity within hip hop culture. Overall, language serves as a tool for individuals to express their social identities within hip hop culture.
We should tell Mr. Ramos. He will love to hear all of this.
Yeah, let's go.
The girls ran to Mr. Ramos' office to tell him about all the stuff that they researched. They knocked his door and the professor answered it, told him all the information top to bottom, but realized they still had questions.
But how can we apply all this information to hip hop?
That's easy. As you know, language use in hip hop is full of slangs. Understanding slangs as usually deliberately chosen over more conventional vocabulary to send social signals, to mark informality or irreverence, to add humor, or to mark one's inclusion in, admiration for, or identification with a social group, often not mainstream groups. Rap songs tend to be considered part of the semantic field of discrimination, sex, or violence. Thus, words can be qualified as bad words, and they are always shortened or adapted to mark rhymes. However, considering dialects of hip hop culture incorrect, it's usually followed by prejudice and stigmas. On the other hand, the way in which hip hop has influenced language has also contributed to the evolution of language, introducing new words, phrases, and expressions into mainstream discourse. Understanding that language works in constant evolution and change. It has challenged the traditional notion of standard language and promoted the acceptance and recognition of not-standard varieties. In addition to providing a platform for marginalized communities to validate their identity and struggles for social issues. The linguistic impact of hip hop extended beyond the boundaries of music genre. It has sparked academic interest and research in social linguistics, cultural studies, and other disciplines, leading to a deeper understanding of language variation, identity construction, and role of language in social movements.
Wow, all of this is impressive. When I started to get into the rap community, I never thought it would have such an impact on linguistics and language in general. I'm genuinely impressed, and I'm very glad you took the chance to inform us about our biggest interests.
Yeah, me too. I didn't think that a musical genre was that important in the way we speak. And if you think about it, there's a lot of things that influence the way we talk. Not just the music that we hear, but also our context, where we live, the social status that we have, which school are we going, and so on.
And it makes me think about our linguistics class with you, Mr. Ramos. At the end of the day, there's not a good or bad way to use language. And what rap does to society's vocabulary is just an innovative process that breaks with the standard constructions of the English language, I think.
You're totally right, bro. It is really important to know that we don't talk in a bad way. We just come from different contexts and we are interested in different things. This was a cool idea. We got to know so many things that are necessary to apply in our task as English teachers. We won't criticize our students, but explain this to them, and I hope that it will be a lot of fun as it was for us.